So ahead of the Princess Royal Challenge Cup, we say thank you to Sarah Winklis, and for this race between the world champion Gmelin and Maddie Edmunds of Australia, I'm joined in the commentary box by Adrian Casti. Hi Adrian.
Hey Martin, how you doing? Good to see you again.
Yeah, pretty good. Enjoying this racing this afternoon.
It's amazing, isn't it? Fantastic conditions and really some fantastic crews winning today.
Yeah, fantastic crews, fantastic records, and you just wonder what Gmelin, the world champion, can do. And
she's had a great rise the last couple of years, hasn't she? Coming in after the Olympics and being world champion last year and winning the World Cups.
Maddie Edmunds, the Queenslander, there has had a fantastic regatta. She took the scalp of the world silver medalist Victoria Thornley yesterday's semi-final.
It's a high quality event, isn't it? I mean, Maddie was a bronze medalist in Rio in the double and has moved into the single this year and made the World Cup final a few weeks ago. So this should be a great race. They raced each other a few weeks ago, so see what happens.
Yeah, Gmelin there, the world champion from Switzerland, burst on the scene last year at the Belgrade Regatta, where she took that World Cup title and then never looked back, unbeaten. Of course, set that brilliant performance in Sarasota, Florida to win the world title, and she's been on fire this year.
And she rose in a small lake called the Greifensee, just east of Zurich. And she's the only international ever to come out of that really small club.
Yeah, and you know, she's a diminutive lady herself. Both scullers getting ready. We'll talk about it as they go down the course. Maddie Edmunds from the Australian National Training Centre. On the right of the picture is Gmelin, on the left of the picture. I expect Maddie Edmunds is going to lead this race out, Adrian. You know, she was a second quicker to the barrier in her race against Victoria Thornley than Gmelin, who beat Dimchenko yesterday. I know Gmelin perhaps wasn't under the same pressure she will be under today, but in that World Cup race in Linz, Maddie Edmunds went through the first 500 metres a second quicker than Gmelin, so she is faster off, and you've got to look to maximise that potential in this race today.
Yeah, you do, and the single can be difficult if you're too fast sometimes off the blocks. The rhythm is hard to find, but obviously having made the final of the World Cup, she's got that pretty good. But here both crews pretty level coming off the end of the island. It really is going to come down to who makes that transition now, because women's singles, it's a long race.
Yeah,
it's going to take a long time. I mean, fast in these conditions, but still a long race.
Well, we saw what happened with Mahe Drysdale. I mean, I picked Chetel Borsch to win that race all the way down, really. You know, from the start of the race, I'm not sure Mahe had a shout, and how wrong was I, because you know he just hung in there the whole way. And Maddie Edmunds will no doubt have taken heart from that. But she is up against the world champion in form. And Chetel Borsch, although he's a very fast sculler, the Norwegian wasn't exactly the fastest sculler in the world, as Gmelin is at the moment.
Yeah, and these sort of match races are, there's a lot of mental toughness that comes into this. These two ladies are going to be racing each other quite a lot over the next few years through to the Olympic Games, and they're going to try and learn and stuff about each other as well. And you know, at the moment they're probably both working quite hard but quite comfortable, just trying to feel each other out a little bit, but at some point one of them will hold on for one stroke longer than the other, and that's the one that will win the race.
So talking to John Keogh, who's running the women's training for Australia, row out of the Penrith Centre, and I said, you know, why did you put Maddie in the single this year? And he kind of says, well, it's her time now, maybe it's okay in the double, but moved out, she's shown really well in the single, and she's got to learn her trade, and there's no better place to learn her trade than this race against the world champion Gmelin at the top of your picture.
And Janine, she's a much more compact sculler than Maddie, and she's keeping the stroke rate, the cadence is higher, and at the moment it's working for her in this tailwind. She's able to keep it a bit lighter, and she's just maybe taking a stroke or so a minute more, but actually she's moving out to about 3/4 of a length.
I think what's sensational about Gmelin, I mean, we talk about so many athletes here being on the start programs and potential programs, and that's where you identify these enormous men and women and you say you'd make a good row. But Gmelin, she's actually completely diminutive. She's only 69 kilos, she's only 1.70 m tall. Her opposition is 17 centimetres taller than her, Maddie Edmunds, and she would not get in the door at any world-class start potential. But Robin Dow The British coach has gone out to Switzerland and he's helped make her into a phenomenal package. And to understand why, you've got to get into her mindset and Robin Dow's mindset, haven't you?
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. I mean, I spoke to Tim Foster today, who was the Swiss chief coach when she was a junior, and they didn't feel she was good enough to go to the Junior World Championship. She went to the Coupe de la Jeunesse, the junior B team, and she's obviously developed over that time. And when Robin Dow turned up, Janine just turned up to her and said to him, I want to do the single in Rio and I'm going to win. And they went on from there.
Yeah, finished in 5th place in Rio, but Robin Dow went out to Switzerland. He took with him Bill Lucas, the women's coach from Thames Rowing Club, just newly appointed, and he took with him his S&C coach. And you take a look at Gmelin, the sculler on the right from Switzerland, and she is absolutely ripped. I mean, you'd probably say she was a powerlifter to look at her physique. She's got really very striking muscle definition. She's so strong if you look at her thighs and her calves, her upper body strength. I mean, everything there is a complete package. And Robin Dow is really sweet in the way that he coaches the boat, you know, just the way he addresses the catch, you know, just focus on pressure on the stretcher, just squeeze it down like you're just breaking an eggshell and just moving that boat. Look at it run on.
It's amazing, isn't it? And Robin's also, he's not stuck in the old ways. He's very keen to be innovative, so he reads up on stuff and he tries new things. And he's sort of one of these modern generation of coaches who's really looking for the extra different bits that we normally don't do in rowing. And for Gmelin here, it just looks so powerful, doesn't it, here? Really neat and making quite good easy work of this, to be honest.
Yeah, it's certainly thought that Maddie Edmunds might be a little bit closer, but this is a lady, Janine Gmelin, who's got the bit between her teeth, and she's loving being here at Henley. Maddie Edmunds, the 26-year-old, sculled in that double with Olympia Aldersea, and there's the shot of the back of Janine. I think you can see some of Janine's muscle definition there that you know, she's worked on with the S&C coach that Robin Dow's brought out.
We have to remember Maddie yesterday, she's in the final because she beat Vicky Thornley. Vicky Thornley was the silver medalist last year at the World Championships. Yeah. I mean, the standard is astonishing.
It is. I don't think Vicky's going at the best this year, and I can see really looking at the time. So 3:50 to Fawley, and that just shatters Maria Brandon's record. I mean, it's an old record, Adrian, from 1995.
The oldest record, I think, in the book, 1995.
It is, but you know, Rumina Nikova, the Bulgarian, has got the world's best time, 7:07 over 2,000 metres, which she set in Seville in 2003, which is one of the oldest records in world rowing for 2,000 metres. I just wonder if we get these conditions later in the season in the World Championships or the World Cup in Lucerne, if Gmelin can have a crack at that time of 7:07.
You wonder about it. It's amazing, isn't it? I mean, Brandon, actually, when she did that race, 95, women still didn't race at the regatta. We just had a World Cup event, and the women's single came over to compete in the World Cup that year. So that's before the women were officially events in the regatta.
So you heard it there from Adrian Cassidy, former junior gold medalist and British World Championship rower. And he now works as a consultant in firm looking at the way that rowers move and capturing the data of their movement and training program. So he's really done a lot of work with people like Robin Dow.
So that's a great video there, isn't it, from Janine there. It's quite bouncy in these conditions when it's a fast tailwind. It's not tricky conditions to row in.
Yeah, and I think the advantage of being, you know, a small sculler, I mean, you know, it's interesting, you know, you think she's small, stand her next to her mum. Her mum's tiny. I met her mum in Linz and she was out there for the World Cup. And Janine said, look, this is where I get my size from, pointing to her mum with a smile on the face. But, you know, low central gravity, popply conditions, you know, you can use that to your advantage, can't you?
You can, yeah. I mean, I'm just sitting here in the commentary box. The wind is really, really picking up. I hope she just goes for this and see if she can break the record. Because, like I said, the conditions are never easy when you break world records. She is handling them as if look at the boat there, it's so level, she's complete control over the hull. And there on the back of her club, Oosterwoude Club. It's a really small club up in east of Zurich. It's still representing your club despite being an international. It's fantastic.
So around about 200 metres to go to the finish. If you're watching this race in Australia, perhaps it's not quite the result you wanted. The Queenslander Maddie Edmunds coming in. There she is, about 3 or 4 lengths behind the world champion. But it's been a great scull from Maddie Edmunds, coached by Ellen Randall down at the National Training Centre in Penrith. Janine Gmelin, she's kind of easing off a little bit as she comes towards the finish. Not just having the record uppermost in her mind, but she's still trucking, isn't she?
Yeah, she's done a great job with this. Really, really professional race. Go into a rhythm and just roll it away. It made it look easy, but It's never comfortable, is it?
So the final of the Princess Royal Challenge Cup, the women's single sculls, is won by the world champion, Switzerland's Gmelin. Raises her arms aloft. She loved that one. Maddie Edmunds, great effort from her, beating the world silver medalist, as Adrian Cassidy told us in the semi-final yesterday. But she couldn't beat this girl from Switzerland. So you can see how much Janina's loved sort of being here in a single. She's really said, I've had to learn about the course, the conditions. I've heard so much about this great regatta, and you can see what it means to Adrian.
Because even if these people are world champions, Henley is still an important part of people's experience in their rowing career.